Welcome back to another video by Motel Coach. Today we're looking at GuestPoint PMS and we're going to learn how to create an individual reservation. We're going to jump on the reservations tab, and to create a reservation we can do it in one of three ways. We can double left click and that will bring up the reservation screen. We can right click and click New Reservation, or up the top right you've got New Reservation. We get a phone call and a guest calls up. It's a mother and a daughter and they're looking to stay on the 25th of October and check out on the 27th of October. They're looking for 2 beds, so we're going to put them in a twin room. So we can right click there. We're going to double click on the 25th. It's for 1 adult and 1 child, so we're going to add 1 child here. It's for 2 nights because they're going to check out on the 27th. We're going to put in the guest name. If they're on the phone now, you can reconfirm the rates with them. Going to enter their email address, their mobile number, and the city that they're from. Each motel will have their own policy around what information you get from the guest. We're going to put in their estimated time of arrival, or ETA. The guest is saying 4 PM. We don't have any special notes for this booking. Because they've called us to make the reservation, we're going to put telephone. Tracking what booking source a guest books with will enable you to understand where your customers are coming from, and it will also help you to understand how that changes over time. If you start to notice that you're becoming more and more reliant on Booking.com and Expedia, you might need to start looking at optimizing more with your direct booking channels. For the guest arrival notes, we're going to put pay on arrival, and we've got a credit card on file for them as a guarantee. Again, each motel will have a different policy. Some motels might like to pre-charge guests to ensure the payment is received. Other motels will want to put all of their credit card payments through their EFTPOS terminal on site. So we can add a credit card here. We're going to skip this step for this one. And we also want to click email confirmation to the guest. We're then going to save that booking, and you'll get a prompt now which will enable you to email the guest. Sending a guest an email confirmation is critical. Look at a booking confirmation similar to when you send an email to a colleague to reconfirm something. It has all of the key information like their contact mobile number, the property address, the rates that you've agreed to, and the room type. Once you send this information to them, it gives them an opportunity to correct anything if you've made any mistake during the reservation process. So you can now see that this reservation's been created. Our guest is checking in on the 25th and checking out on the 27th of October for 2 nights. If we go back into the reservation now, let's go through more of the features when you're creating a reservation. So the first option you've got here is Do Not Move. This is a great option if you have a guest with really specific requirements, or maybe they have been at your motel before and they really like a room. When you use Do Not Move, it's always a good practice to put notes on the booking as well. If it's a regular guest, I would put it into guest profile notes.
If it's the guest's first booking and they've got a specific request, like they want a downstairs room, I would put it in the internal booking notes. With your internal booking notes, these aren't seen by the guest, in the same way that guest profile notes aren't seen by the guest. If you were to put in the booking confirmation notes that the guest requests a downstairs room, it is partially a good practice to reconfirm what the guest has requested, but at the same time, keep in mind that this note here will be shown directly to the guest when they receive their booking confirmation, so make sure you word it in a very respectful way. The next option we've got is a tentative reservation. So we can select that one here and we'll save this down. And you'll see that the tentative reservation is showing up with the dots around the reservation. We can also note that when we select our booking, because we've marked it as Do Not Move, a red box around the reservation will also appear. And if I was to say, try and drag the reservation, it won't let me. I can also try and click. I can't click here either while that Do Not Move is selected. If I unselect it, I can then move it again. We're going to save that one down. Once you receive an online check-in form, you can also select it here, just to avoid going through that process again. Under rates, we've got the rate information. So you've got them in a twin room. If a promotional code is used, you can put that one in here. You can apply a discount for them. So we're going to give them a fixed amount off per night. We can then recalculate the rate. So that's going to show up in the reports as well, and the total. So you can see the reduced total by $20 per night.
Moving down the page further, you've got booking and confirmation notes. As discussed before, this section here is displayed to the guest when they finalize their booking. So it's an important section, and you can use it to put in notes to reconfirm with the guest. If you have a busy event and you want to put a deposit request in, you could put that note in the booking and confirmation notes.
Housekeeping notes. This section is for use with the housekeeping team. You can put comments in, such as how you want a bed to be made up. So say we have a mother and a daughter. They've booked a king room that has the option to have the bed split into 2 singles. So we might put in split bed. Keep in mind that every property will have slightly different ways of discussing with housekeeping and the words that they use as well. So some might put 2 singles. So let's now move into the housekeeping section just to understand how these notes reflect. We're going to go Management, Housekeeping. We're going to go to the 25th and we're going to click Preview. So you can see that the notes we make in the housekeeping section get transferred into the housekeeping management area. So we've got split bed for room 7. When we print the housekeeping report, Amelia Rogers has been allocated room 7, and you can see the notes here, split bed, 2 singles. We've also put that room on a priority so that that room will get cleaned at the first available time. She may still clean other rooms beforehand if they check out and this room is still in house. Keep in mind if checkout's at 10 and room 7 doesn't check out till 10, we can't do much about it. But in the case where you've got a priority room, see if you can allocate it to a room that was vacant the night before or with a guest that's checked out early. There's no need to put your housekeepers in a position where they have to rush through a room to get a priority room ready. You can generally get it allocated to a room that they can do early or one that will already be cleaned. Internal booking notes. A great internal communication tool, especially in a motel that's a bit bigger and you've got multiple staff working on reception. We can put in room preferences, as we discussed before. I would also consider adding Do Not Move. Just a bit more security to make sure that that reservation doesn't get moved, especially if it's a mobility issue. If a guest with mobility issue has a reservation and their room's moved to an upstairs room, you really don't have much option if you can't shuffle their booking downstairs again. When you've got repeat customers, or even in this instance where you've got the guest requesting a downstairs room, you can also put it in here. That way, if the guest makes another reservation and their user profile is attached to it, all of these guest profile notes will stay with it. It's a great way to build customer rapport. Scrolling down a bit further to charges and payment options. Because this is an individual reservation, we only have one account attached. We don't have a company profile attached to the reservation either. So, automatic charges policy, all charges will automatically go to the guest's room account. So if we click on room account, all of the charges will go here for that guest. If we have a group or a company booking, let's double click on Nolson. And going back a bit, so you can see that this is a group booking because he's got the little blue symbol there. If we go to the legend, we've got group. So the Nolson booking is for a group. If we go to one of the individual reservations and we scroll down to charges and payment options, it's already defaulted here to all charges to group. So when this reservation was set up, it was confirmed that the group would pay for everything, so all charges will go to that group account. If we wanted to change this and say, well, we want the room charges to go to the group, but the meal charges will go to an individual guest. So we could put room charges to the group. If the reservation is connected to an agent account, you can also send the charges directly to that agent. Under charges and payment options, if a booking is fully prepaid by the guest, you can mark it here as prepaid. When you check in the guest, all room charges will automatically be posted. This is a great time to provide a tax invoice to the guest if you don't offer any additional services. Moving down, we've got non-refundable. Marking a booking as non-refundable will alert staff that this booking has been made non-refundable. But keep in mind that if the guest has booked a refundable rate, marking this as non-refundable, it won't change their booking confirmation. So in this example of the reservation we've created, we've got a 24-hour cancellation policy because that's our default. And when we created it, that was what we agreed to with the guest. So if we click print and confirmation, although we've marked it as non-refundable, you can see here that it's still got a 24-hour cancellation policy on it. We're going to close that one down. The last option is deposit requested. So if we request a deposit, we can put an amount. So we might put $100, and the due date for the deposit is today. Let's assume we've got a really busy event coming up on the 25th, and we want this guest to put a $100 deposit down for the room before the end of today. We're going to put a due date for the 23rd, and we're going to save that down. Generally, when you're requesting a deposit, it will often be a longer lead time. So you might have a major event coming up, and every guest in-house, you want them to make a deposit of 30% of their booking. You can put that into the deposit request, and you can then track it. You can click Management, Deposit Follow-up, and you can see here. So our one is due by the 23rd of October, which is today, and you can note that it's in black. That means that it's not yet overdue, but from tomorrow, this will then become red and it will become overdue. The next option we've got is purchase order. So we've put in this number here, starting in 325. This is a way for companies and travel agents to track bookings at your property. Often you'll receive a booking request and it will have a purchase order number in it. Once you put your purchase order number here in the reservation, when you go to provide a room account to your client, let's print this one, you'll see that they've got the purchase order number here. This makes payment easy for the travel agent or company. It's always a good practice if they have a specific reference or indicate purchase order to include that in each reservation. It'll make your life easier and it will make you a better client for them. Pre-stay invoice. You've got the option to invoice, send a quote or a payment request for your guests, and you can email it or you can print it. Let's print a pre-stay tax invoice. And you've got all of the information for the guest here. You've got their purchase order number and you've got the total amount. If we were to go closing this reservation down, with your pre-stay invoice, just to show you, I've taken a payment on the room account. I'll open that one up. So I've taken a payment for $154.42. If we go back to the reservation and we open up the pre-stay invoice again and we print it, you'll notice that no payments will appear on your pre-stay invoice. This is to show the company the total cost of the booking. If we close that one down, you'll notice when we do a room account that no room charges are posted yet. The first night's room charge will get posted when we check in the guest, and the next night's room charge will get posted when we roll over the first night and ongoing for each night of their stay. We've got the option to cancel a reservation. We can click on More and we can copy the reservation. We can review digital documents that have been provided. Changelog will show us any changes that have been made to a reservation. Sometimes by mistake a rate might be changed. Having a look at the changelog will show you what's happened. So we can see back to the start of the video when I put the discount on of $20 and it's attached to my name as the operator. This is really handy as the motel manager when you're training your reception team. It helps you track back who's made a mistake and how can you fix it? What training can you do to help it not happen again? That's everything we're going to do today in creating reservations in GuestPoint PMS. There's a lot to take in, and GuestPoint has so many features and functions that you can work with. Spend time working through the different steps. Have a look at when you write a note there, where does it end up? Make sure you have a full understanding. You'll be doing reservations every day. Being skilled and understanding exactly how it all works will help you run a better, higher performing motel. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to the video. If you've got any questions about creating a reservation or using GuestPoint PMS, drop a comment below. We have comprehensive courses in motel management and real hands-on courses in GuestPoint PMS.